Signaling ambiguity in the big delay, where social norms or patterns used to exist to help signal or define the status of relationships as they progressed, there now exists a seemingly purposeful lack of defining signals in dating, which is why you got to get clued in on the fundamentals, understand the different stages. Both fear and a lack of skill in communicating clearly have become driving factors in creating ambiguous, if not clearly defined, relationships. So people often fail to communicate what they want or don't want from their relationships. And this is why you have those awkward DTR moments, right? Where you've got, define the relationship, because it's not defined for you. So you have to define it for yourselves. And it's awkward and uncomfortable, and nobody likes it, simply because we shouldn't have to do it. It should already be done for us. And it was done at one time, and it can still be done for us. That's why I talk about this stuff on the radio program. If you're not listening to the radio program, listen to the radio program. I've got a fireside presentation that talks about this. You can watch it for free on YouTube. I've got a book that you can get about the fundamentals of dating and all the stuff that I'm talking about here. So the information's out there, peeps. I'm not going to rehash all of it here in this video. Let's see what else this good doctor has to say. Secure commitments are clearly single, but ambiguity is the flavor of the age. Results are a phenomenon of ambiguous and often asymmetrical relationships where one partner is more clearly committed than the other. Yep. What more could I say to that? Listing three main types of people in play on the relationship fields of today's world, Dr. Stanley explained there's the seekers, those actively looking to find a partner, which he joked was most likely most of the Provost School student population. The delayers, who are determined, what's up with the split infinitive? Not to get tied down to any one person or relationship. And the wanderers, those who are just in and out of the dating scene without giving much thought to what they want. And even among those who are actively seeking committed relationships, fewer people overall are getting married nowadays. Those who are getting married are doing so at later ages than ever before, a phenomenon he referred to as the big delay. For some of the students in attendance at that lecture, Dr. Stanley's research felt spot on for their college dating experiences so far. Speaking about the idea of struggling to define a commitment, freshman student Dallin Ward said, "I think it's understandable people are afraid. It's hard to say if we're a thing or not." Yeah, but that's because you say it's hard to understand if you're a thing or not because you're not grounded in fundamentals. You know what stage of the dating journey you're in by the commitment you've made, because you need an agreement in order to go from one stage to the next. So if you don't have the agreement to be in that stage, you're not in that stage. And we all know what agreements we have and haven't made, because agreements require two people, not just one peeps, two. So yeah, we know what agreements we have and haven't made, and therefore we know what stage of the dating journey we're in. Noting the types of dating signals at play in the Provo School dating culture, sophomore Micah Pixton added, "I think there's at least a tacit agreement that you should DTR at some point." Yeah, because again, it's not defined for us. That's why I the book that I wrote about the fundamentals of dating is entitled DTR is Dead. Because once you understand the fundamentals, there's no need to define the relationship. There's nothing to define. Everything's there laid out for you. The fact that the acronym exists explains that people are trying to find ways to signal their commitment, Pixton said, but whether or not it actually happens or when it should happen is often less clear. I feel like I'm already starting to look back on relationships and think, what was I doing there? Most of the reasons I was probably ambiguous are reasons Dr. Stanley stated. Being afraid of rejection. I really don't like rejection. It's difficult to open myself up emotionally and be vulnerable there. Most people tend to be ambiguous because they're hoping to avoid pain. I got that. I'm right on board with that. That's spot on. Advice for singles who are searching. In his conclusion, Dr. Stanley described how marriage will continue to become a stronger and more powerful signal of the best relationships over time. And as such, working toward it is still an economically and socially wise goal, particularly for those guided by their beliefs toward it. 1. Leaving tips for those still in the dating scene, Dr. Stanley concluded with the following dating advice. I think something's wrong with their numbering here. That's not number 1. Number 1 is really what they call number 2. Take it slow. Amen, brother. Preach it. Don't go too fast. Keep your eyes open and be gathering information. Some people search too little, some search too long. There are consequences for both, Dr. Stanley said, but take it slow. Amen. Can I get an amen, brothers and sisters? Yes, take your time with it. Enjoy the process. You can't enjoy what you're doing if you're just rushing through everything. Take your time, okay? And again, I've talked about this before, but I'll say it again. President Oaks, back when he was Elder Oaks in 2009, that classic discourse on divorce. If you want to marry well, inquire well. Well, inquiry takes time. So take it slow. Give yourself the time you need to make proper inquiry. And, when you're ready to advance to the next stage of the journey, then you can work on making the agreement that will get you there. But, until then, enjoy being in the stage that you're in. Be in the place where you are. I'm so down with this.